All right, you guys, let me get a drink. We will get rolling. Be right. Goddamn right. What's up, fellas? How you doing? How are you all doing? It is nice to see all of you. Well, not all of you, but a couple of you. Hang on. We'll get started right now. Boom. There we go. Welcome to the show. Let me know if you can hear me okay or if it's too quiet, and I will fix that for you because that's the kind of fella I am. Come on. Come on in. The minute I put you outside, come here. Well, come here. Say hi to everybody, Ace. Excuse me. Excuse me. Welcome to the show. We have some fun things to talk about tonight. We'll be shooting the shit a little bit, taking calls. In fact, let me put the guest line up right here. And if you want to call in and talk as pals do, you can call in tonight. The lines are open. We can talk about anything you want to. There's my nephew. Hello, Daniel. How you doing, buddy? How's my nephew? How's Bama? Call in here. Okay, I'm going to pin that to the top. And you guys can call in and we can shoot the shite. Alex just got back from the motion picture show. He saw Avatar. He says, Javi. Yes, what is it, Alex? I watched the Avatar movie. I just got home. It was very, very long, but a great experience. I love the smoothness of 60 frames in 3D. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Did you see that thing that was going viral? Somebody tweeted about, they said it's a different kind of lonely to go to the movies by yourself. And some people agreed and a lot of people pushed back. I will tell you, going to the movies by yourself. Now, I've only done it once before at night, and I did feel a little awkward and strange going at night. But going to the movies in the day by myself is one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely adore it. It is, you sit where you want. It's not that I can't sit where I want usually. It's just there is something about it that feels like it's like a pampering thing. It's like a nice, it's a nice kind of thing, Listen to this. K-Nub says, I'm about to do the Friday, Saturday, Sunday for Lord of the Rings extended edition in theater. I didn't know they were doing that. We all just watched the extended edition of Fellowship, but maybe we should all go out and see the Two Towers, because we're meant to watch the Two Towers. So we're not meant to, but we're planning to, and I've already seen, of course, but my kid is not and my ex is not. We were going to go see together. Okay. Listen to this. Today, look, I don't want to get too political. But it's difficult. It's difficult times, and I'm trying very hard, you guys. I'm trying very hard to be the kind of guy who says, yeah, but you're being influenced by social media. You're being manipulated by the algorithm, and the world out there ain't as bad as you think it is. Because every time I turn on the internet these days, it seems like America is just collapsing. And I want to talk about just briefly, or not briefly, depending on what you guys want to shoot the shit with, but I want to talk about, is that a real read of the landscape, or is it a manufactured one by the oligarchs that run the tech companies to keep us divided and keep us engaged? This is what I would like to know. Meantime, though, Necro's not wrong. The real play is to go to the movies by yourself and pick the seat right next to the other person that went by themselves. I mean, seriously, what I would have no problem at that point of saying to that person, I don't understand what you're doing. Especially if it was an empty theater, I would just be like, you have the whole motion picture show house to yourself and you choose to sit by me. That's weird. But but then they're like, well, this is the theater my mom sat in when she took me and she died recently. I'd be like, I get that. Let me get up. I'd get up and I'd go sit somewhere else. And then if they got up and moved, every seat in the theater, she'd have a story for. It's a woman, and it's like, I think her is like Annie Wilkes was her name, I think, in Misery. She's like, oh, well, now this seat is the seat where, I got felt up for the first time in middle school. I don't know what her deal is, but it would bother me. LBB says, or BB8, or I don't know, says, bro, I haven't been to the movies since free movies were released online. Oh, okay. America is expanding. The same thing every other superpower has been doing. Nothing crazy, says John Sulk. Really? It looks crazy? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me if this is crazy. You tell me how I'm supposed to respond to this. I haven't even watched it. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait and watch it. No, not this. I'm going to show you this because this is fucking the bee's knees, baby. This is amazing. But then I'm going to show you the footage I'm talking about. I am not, hang on. I am not a massive shoot 'em up fan. Like I just don't really, I'm just not very good at them. I don't have the dexterity to play those kind of games, even though I appreciate them, for what they are. But I did come up in the arcades playing this game, R-Type, and I want to show you. This statue. This is pretty fucking cool, man. Like, this makes me almost want to buy. This makes me almost want to buy a collector's edition of this game. The one I really liked. Well, this is. Let me one thing at a time, Jeffy. Settle down, bitch. You shut up. Look at this. Look at this R-Type. Look at this fucking R-Type statue. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that fucking thing. R-Type 3. The one I loved, though, the one I adored, was one that was called Life Force from Konami, and it was renamed something or other. But when I played it, it was called Life Force, and it was set inside the human body. And I just thought that was the coolest fucking thing in the world, that you were playing a shoot 'em up, but it was you were shrunk down like Incredible Voyage or whatever it was called. Okay, so let's watch this though briefly. Let me find it. I have to figure out where it went. But this is a clip that's been going around today of a woman that was dragged out of her car. And I want you to tell me, what is the proper way? How well, that's not it. How are we supposed to respond to seeing this woman here. Where is she? That's a different woman. This is about having sex with robots, but we'll get back to that. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Let's go to Drudge Report. Maybe they have it. Here it is. Shock video. ICE terrorizes another woman. I like how Joe Rogan is finally coming out going, this is crazy. Really, Joe? Is it crazy? All right, here we go. Let's watch this together and let's talk about it on the other side, as the kids say.
Hey, go that way. Hey, back the fuck up. Sidewalk, 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 sidewalk. You can fill up on the sidewalk. Force is not law. Force is not law. You are not following the law.
Police before I'm disabled, so I need to go to the doctor up there. That's why I had to move. It's okay.
Does this make you feel strong? Yeah, man. This is your duty. Why don't you help that woman? Help that woman! Why don't you help someone? All you do is hurt! All you do is hurt! She's trying to drive down the fucking bridge! Where is the law? Pull up the way! Let her go!
So there you go. Embers, I'll bring you on in a second. Now I will say, I will say, you know, as it relates to what we just saw, I don't, you know, from my immediate view of it, and not having any real, I haven't studied this, I haven't gone through it. It seems like they were trying to get her to move and she wasn't driving. Now, assuming that that's the case, I do think they have a right to say, okay, well, you're kind of impeding a blah, blah, blah. But the way they respond to it is absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's like, how many people do they need to pull somebody, or not even pull someone out of a car to go, look, let me explain what's going on. You're blocking the thing. You have to come with us. It's like 6 fucking grown men dealing with this tiny 5'2" lady. You know, it's, I mean, this is going to go bad. I don't know if you guys heard that guy the other day saying we have to not change this at the ballot box anymore. We have to go to the ammo box. I do think that that's coming. I mean, how much long, and I hate that. And maybe that's what Trump wants. So he can bring in, you know, the National Guard. I don't fucking know what he wants. He's a fucking nightmare. But how, you know, this is not, you cannot tell me that this is not calculated. They are promoting this. They want someone to shoot someone. And they want it to be like someone shoots ICE, and that's what they're waiting for. And then he can get in there, and not that he needed an excuse before, but for some reason he seems to think he needs that to occur Because there's no way, if you're actually the president and you care about America, you can be pro-immigration and you can be for tight borders and you can be for taking people who are here illegally and say, I'm very serious about getting them out of the country. And you can do all of those things without this kind of behavior. And I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what's going to have to break other than just getting this guy out of office. But at this point, if you are watching this and you are supporting this, clearly I don't agree with you. And I think you're a fucking moron, but my mind is open. Perhaps, I don't fucking know. Perhaps there's something I'm missing. Republicans, both politicians and voters, Durant says, have broken the social contract of laws we agreed to. Yeah, I agree, Wicked. This is Stephen Miller's playbook. I don't think Trump wants anything but money. I think this is another push of what they wanted in Chicago. I think all these major events are calculated. Trump never cared about America, says Machine. I agree, only as much as it would cause people to like him. Yeah, I mean, here's the weird part about it, though, is you have all these people on Twitter and online and stuff saying, oh, well, hey, this is what was going on in Nazi Germany. And remember when everybody was like, we'll never let that happen here? Well, it's happening. What are you going to do about it? Well, short of waiting for an election or picking up a gun and starting a war, I don't know what else you can do about it, right? Wayne B, I'm going to treat you just because it's better entertainment and it's better conversation, like you're not trolling. Most likely told her to get out. She didn't, and they forced her out. Next story, Jaffe. No, you're just wrong, dude. And again, I'm going to treat you like you're not here to troll. I'm assuming you can't be serious. But again, there is a way to do this, and it doesn't take. I mean, look at them all just swarming like they finally get to play the big bad cops that they weren't good enough to actually get into the actual academy. I mean, really, this is supposed to be some great defense force for America, and one guy, two guys can't, in an American humane way, have her leave her car. Wayne, what you're wrong about, he says, what am I wrong about? Stop sitting in a car like a spoiled Karen. And my answer to you is whether or not, let's assume that's absolutely right. Let's assume your take on it is 100% correct. And she should have moved and that's what it might actually look like. It looked like they told her to move, and for whatever reason, she chose not to. And as much as I think ICE are pieces of shit, they weren't, she wasn't defending anyone's life. She was like not moving out of the way. And so I do think they have a right to say, look, you're impeding our investigation. We've asked you to move 10 times. You haven't moved your car. You're blocking things. We have to, arrest you or detain you, or at least get your car out of the way. All that's fine. But it's the way it was done. It's the way it was done, which I don't think is debatable. If you agree with the way it was done, then you're an asshole. Right? I mean, what else is there to say? If this was your daughter, your mother, your sister, your girlfriend, your wife, you think this is okay? I don't know. Maybe you guys just don't like women. Maybe you're like, I don't mean that like you're gay and you're a man. I mean that like maybe you're like misogynistic and you like when women get beaten up on, or you resent them, or you're angry at them, or something like that. This is not the way we're supposed to treat people at all. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. These are the exact types of conversations and scenarios that make me thankful I'm Canadian, says Andrew. Yeah, but I mean, even that, I agree with you, by the way. But listen to this, though. I mean, the shit that's been normalized. I mean, shame on the people like Wayne B, if he's serious about this. The shit that's been normalized under this guy is insane to me. And you guys should be ashamed of yourself that you're okay with this. The fact that he even talks, even jokingly or seriously, given what we just did in Venezuela, there's no way to tell. But the fact that he even talks about Canada's next, Mexico's next, Greenland's next. Are you kidding me? What's the matter with you people? I mean, we just don't live in the same, we don't share the same view of the world. If you think might makes right and you are allowed to go into any country you set your eye on and go, I want that. And because I have a bigger military, I can take it. I mean, if that's actually how you see the world and that is reflective of your world philosophy, I don't know what else there is to say to you. We will never, ever see eye to eye. And I think you probably need a great deal of therapy. You were probably raised by parents that didn't love you and didn't care for you and didn't teach you compassion. It doesn't make any sense, but he's saying all these fucking things. And you guys are not what the country, what the world needs, is people on the right that voted for this guy to turn on him now and say this, you are the guys that play the Lee Greenwood and shed a tear at the 4th of July picnic and talk about how much you love America and how much you are a patriot. If that's really true, then you guys are the ones that need to plant a flag now and say, we're Americans and this is not American. This is not the America we signed up for, that our, ancestors fought and died for. This is not the country that we want. But you don't say that. It's the people on the left and sometimes in the center. Why aren't the right losing their shit over this and going, this can't reflect our guy? I don't understand. Let's see if Smile can shed some light on it. Now, Kathy, what's up? Hello? You're muted right now. That's why we can't hear you, baby.
Oh, hey.
There you go. What's going on, bud?
So what's going on in this video? Like when I see this, I see just like some video I did. Did I miss something?
Well, what's happening in the video is, I'm playing it again. You have this woman, and they were telling her to move. She didn't move. I guess maybe she started. It's hard to say exactly what happened, but they clearly wanted her to move her car. Unless there's some context we don't have, she should have moved her car. Oh, there's an echo. Let me fix that real quick. She should have moved her car. Hang on. All right, there we go. All right, can you hear me, Smaug?
Yep.
All right. She should have moved her car. She didn't. And I get, like I said a couple of minutes ago, if they were going to arrest her for it or detain her or get her out of her car so they could drive her car and move it, all that's fine. All that's fine. But they didn't. They basically had 6 huge dudes, or not all huge, but 6 dudes on this little 5'2" woman, dragging her to the ground, cutting her seatbelt, bashing her windows, and treating her like they just pulled over somebody who, was being assumed to have like shot somebody or something. And it is. I think what's happening is every day it's going to get worse because Trump wants something to happen. The only reason I question what I'm about to say is I was going to say Trump wants something to happen so he can feel okay about bringing in the Marines or whatever. But the problem with that is he doesn't need anything to happen. It's not like he needed anything to happen in the other places either. So I don't know if he feels that what he wants to do is so big that he does need some kind of cover for it. I have no idea, but that's what's happening in the video.
Yeah, so I feel like I think you're deeper in some of the politics stuff than me, right? In terms of like Trump, this or that. When I see that video, right, like I guess like I'm like, what is the context of that, right? Because
Well, I just told you the context.
Well, no. I hear you on that. Right? But like, I see that and I'm like, hey, this is chaotic, right? If I were to see anyone in that situation, I'm just thinking, if I knew that person, I'd be like, holy shit, this looks like chaotic. Clearly, no one wants to be in that situation, right?
Yeah.
But then you're saying like, hey, they're looking as if she's almost like doing something, like as if she just murdered someone. And I'm like, I look at that video and I'm like, this is all over the U.S. Like, frankly, I don't know if she just murdered someone. That's what I was asking. I was like, is this something?
There is no context that, I mean, again, it's possible. We always should wait, unlike the president or the vice president or, the attorney general. We should always wait until the facts come out to definitively say yes or otherwise.
Do you think it's a thing of assumed context, though, where it's like...
I think if you watch the video, there would have to be something that's not reflective in the video for this to be justified. There would have to be, this woman, you didn't know this, but she was suspected of having a dirty bomb in her back seat, or whatever.
Sometimes I wonder those things, like how much they're like, because I feel like there's a franticness of it, right? When I see the video, I'm like, oh, that looks like terrible. It looks terrible. But then I feel like when I see, I know almost like I have no evidence, like for example, I could be like, regardless of the opinion I take there, right? It's like, I could get a thing that says after the fact, this person.
Sure, of course. There is. I think most.
That's why I was asking if their context.
Yeah, no, I think most normal people will agree that, there's always something that you could learn that would go, oh, okay, I get it now. But right now, we're not seeing that. So we're, and we're not hearing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does this stuff work you up? Like, how much does this make you, irritate you, I guess?
It makes me confused for the country. It makes me sad for the country. It really, I think what bothers me the most, Smaug, about it is the idea that I thought we were not this. I didn't think we could be this, given what we've been educated on, what we know, the rules of law that are in place. And I mean, again, maybe it's coming. You can't, if you're a good attorney, you probably don't file a lawsuit in 5 seconds. But when are these guys going to be held accountable? When are these guys going to be thrown in jail, put up, in front of a judge and go, look, you're not above the law, motherfuckers. That's the stuff that without anyone pushing back except just people on social media, it's like, okay, I guess this is us now. And I think that's really how I feel. Is it's really sad, is what I would think. So that's what I think.
I feel like that chaotic part though is like, I can't help but to think that's like the overwhelming thing I feel when I see this stuff, like the chaos, right? And like, I can't tell what's going on. And like, maybe it's too like conspiratorial and adjacent. But like, I just can't help but like, you read about this stuff of like generations of warfare and they're like, part of the new generation of warfare is never understanding what's going on. You can't ever. Yeah,
absolutely. Whatever. That's Stephen Miller's whole thing. Yeah.
I sort of wonder if this is like a staging tactic for example, I don't know a ton about it, but like you see the stuff overseas, Iran and whatever.
Yes.
It's like what you're experiencing, me and you, of like seeing this type of thing. If we're the American public, I'm also in Southern California, by the way. We're the American public, and I think we might be an advantage where potentially the person who's on this attack vector being able to show us this chaotic stuff, me or you, our opinions are benign, but potentially this type of chaotic thing might be weaponized overseas. And I don't know if the chaotic element that we're experiencing even matters. I feel like that might be by design. I wonder if sometimes your reaction, the reaction that's contrary to yours, such as like the right-leaning one. Yeah. I wonder if that's just part of like, honestly, a strategy.
Sure. I mean, I think certainly if you're, again, that's why I opened this saying, which is I can't even tell you what's real anymore. I can't even tell you, if this is reflective of reality or these are isolated incidents that are being, dramaed up in order for the people who run the social media to make money. I couldn't tell you, man.
Tell me if this is getting too off topic of the the ICE deportation, but one thing I feel like when I see some of your streams and people like, your opinions in,
Yeah.
the whole kind of side, right? I'm not necessarily, probably I'm slightly right leaning. I feel like people on the left, especially with your type of opinions, actually make from the U.S.'s government's kind of perspective the narrative and capabilities of ICE, and for example, being able to deport, let's say, illegal, undocumented, whatever you want to call them, in the U.S. stronger. Because I think South Park did an episode on this back in the day. It's like you have the pro-war side and then the side that's apologizing for being pro-war. I can't help but to feel like, hey, you're taking this sympathetic approach of saying, hey, you have to consider all the sides, show sympathy for the person. But then as a result, you get the government actually able to carry out this type of thing. So like, I can't help but
I'm trying to make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying I'm not suggesting that as much. I'm not suggesting that the idea of taking undocumented people in America who are not citizens and are not here legally. I agree that we need better policies, and for a lot of the people, if not even potentially all of the people, they need to be removed from the country if they don't leave on their own. I'm not. That's a topic that I certainly think there's validity in discussing, and I think
I was actually going on more of a meta.
I'm talking about the process. Why can't we do that? Why can't we vote in an administration that says we are going to be very serious about this? We feel, whether you agree or not, but we got voted in, that having all of these undocumented people is hurting our moment-to-moment lifestyle in America, whether it's resources or whatever. Yeah. And so we're going to be serious about it. But can't you be serious about it without shitting all over the Constitution? Can't you be serious about it without being a bunch of fucking thugs and being assholes to people?
But like, what if that message of like, hey, we need to have sympathy, et cetera, right? Sympathy, process, et cetera. What if that's actually just like the giving weight to doing the thing that they're going to do anyway? Like, I can't help it.
I don't understand that, what you're asking. Me being sympathetic to the people that are being treated poorly.
I understand. It's like, I am proposing, what you were asking about what you think of what I would think is like kind of counterintuitive, but like, I would argue one of the biggest benefits the U.S. has, for example, when think back in 2004, they're invading Iraq, is the counter protest of people saying this is not justified at the time, because not only are they the country that gets to do what they're doing, they also get to maintain the moral high ground. And like when you talk like that, like for example about the ICE stuff, I kind of wonder like, are you maintaining the upper ground effectively for the process?
Well, what is the option? What is the other option?
Oh, I'm not saying there's actually a good solution.
The only other option is say nothing and act like it's fine. I mean,
I guess to some extent, I'm not trying to propose a solution or say there's a better way. I'm just saying, like, do you ever think, like, in terms of those, like, hey, maybe the chaos is part of it. Maybe the
I think the chaos being part of it is certainly on the side of, in this case, the Trump administration. But I certainly don't think. Thank you, baby. I don't think the response to. Also, sweetheart, can I had sweet and sour and spring rolls, if you don't mind. I don't think the only, but I don't know what another response would be other than that.
I don't either. I'm not trying to say it. I don't know. It's just been on my mind, so I was curious.
All right. I appreciate the call, though. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Have a great one.
You too, bud. Smaug said, Ghetto got, thank you, sweetheart, and sweet and sour sauce. All right. And you got everything you need? Yes. All right. You're welcome, baby. These people want ICE dead, says Ghetto God, period. They should treat people that are preventing them from doing their jobs like criminals, dangerous criminals, because they are. There's no truth to that. I literally said at the beginning, I said that if this woman was blocking their path, which it looks like maybe she was, and if this woman was getting in the way of them doing their job, which it looks like she possibly was, I don't have a problem with them arresting her. I don't have a problem with them detaining her. I don't have a problem with them taking her out of her or having her get out of her car so they could say, look, if you're incapable of driving down the road to get out of the way, we'll take care of it. Okay. My issue is not that. my issue is the way they're handling it it doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So as much as I despise ICE and want them totally demolished and removed from as an organization, at least in the way they're being run right now, I don't really know why some of you people seem to, it's almost like they present you the way they behave, and your brain doesn't go to, oh, there are other ways to achieve the same goal, right? It's like they can still achieve the goal they're trying to achieve, but do they have to basically go against all of them? I mean, aren't we supposed to be this Christian country? Aren't we supposed to, that's what we keep hearing. Aren't we supposed to be this country of kindness and charity? And most money is given by charity, and we know it's bullshit, but that's what we keep being told. How can those two things, why can't we do this work without being an asshole? Is what I would say, is what I am saying. Let me get the super chat. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you so much, Durant. Durant drops super chat. He says this, and you can be just like Durant if you're cool, but you're not cool unless you drop a super chat. See what I'm doing? He says, what's annoying from Trumpers is how they grant the benefit of the doubt to an administration that lies so much and they consistently lose court cases. Most people who are still supporting Trump at this point are unwilling. They're not really looking to meet you in good faith on a discussion. And this is this is the problem, Zeke. Zeke says, I did not hear you complaining about anything during the Biden administration. I didn't think Biden was good on everything he did. I'll complain. I complained during the Obama administration. I think the way he used drones was probably a really overly what's the word? Overly aggressive. That's not what we should be doing either. I don't have any, this is a you thing. You guys have to understand that most Democrats or most people who are not you, who are not MAGA, are not like you guys. We don't need our side to win. We want the country to win. We don't like your side necessarily in some of your policies, but you don't, we're not out here going, when Trump said I could shoot somebody in Fifth, I mean, that's what the man said, you guys. And he was right. He could shoot somebody and he wouldn't leave. He wouldn't lose followers. It's exactly what he said. I saw today that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton were like trying to not be, and again, I don't know all the details, but assuming it's as slimy as the headlines made out, which is they don't want to testify on Epstein. I think that's shitty. I think they should be held accountable. And if they've done bad things or Biden did bad things that are like illegal, they should go to fucking jail. I don't know how many times we have to fucking say it. We are not you. We are absolutely not you. We don't want to win at any cost. That's a you guys part. That's the guys, who are willing to cheat to win and they don't care about anything other than winning. That's y'all's side, quote side. There are absolutely just as many people on the left who view it as a team sport and want to win. The tribalism exists, but it doesn't exist to the point that it does on the MAGA side. And I don't even mean the Republican side. I mean the MAGA side. How can anybody support this shit? Come on, man. And the fact that you are aware it's a team sport is enough for you to go, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't know what you're talking about, Machine XP. What was out of context? What are you talking about? All right, this is Teddy Zapp of the Cincinnati Zaps. How are you, sir?
Hey, Jeffy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm going to eat while you talk, but I'll mute myself so it doesn't gross people out. What you got going on?
Well, good. I'm smoking a cigarette, so
good for you.
That doesn't smoke or recording one out. I was just trying to say, I appreciate what you're talking about too. Like, you have a really good perspective. As far as like how you appreciate different conversations. I love that so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So what's your take on all this stuff going on?
I hate it. I hate it so much. I really do. I come from a conservative, honestly, like a Catholic family, but I don't like that. Like the I don't know, man. Jaffe, I appreciate everything you've done. Like uh you have a good conversation with people. That's what I've tried to do in my life too.
Do you
I
find
really,
that difficult? So are you a conservative kind of thinker or progressive, or what's your take?
well, yeah, I have been. I would say I'm more conservative.
So do you get into it with your family and shit then? Or you guys totally are on the same page about this kind of stuff, like ICE and everything?
The ice thing, no. I'd say with the ice thing, I haven't had that conversation yet.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so we've had different conversations.
Okay.
Um,
Well, is there
with my
anything you want to talk
family,
about on the show tonight specifically? I appreciate you calling in, but I got to move on I got to get you a topic.
I'd say
Come on, baby.
maybe
You got something, baby. What you want to talk about?
yeah. I don't know, Jaffe.
All right. Listen, Teddy, you call back anytime, especially when you got something to say. I love you calling. Thank you for your support, bud. Thank you,
All
man.
right, thank you, Jaffe.
You got it, man. Listen to this. Red Sheets Metal drops in. He says, hey, listen, here's a super chat. Charity is bad for business unless it is the business. These deportations during Obama's era were way more extreme, but we still have 3 years with Trump. Well, again, if you can point me to scenarios that occurred during the Obama or Biden administration where people's rights were being treated and trampled on like this, then I will shit on them as well. But they managed to get a number of people out of the country. At least Obama did. Let's think about it from this perspective for a moment. Let's think about it from this perspective. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I really appreciate that. Think about this for a moment, right? Like, there are people in this chat and in this country. I got nothing for you, dog. I'm doing the Lord's work right now. Speak. I got nothing for you. I just took you out, man. Here comes the other one. There are people in this country that really seem to think this shit is okay. And ultimately the question becomes, do we have a slow moving civil war? A lot of people think, I'm not a student of Civil War history, but when I keep reading about the Civil War, it sounds like it wasn't like we woke up and there was like a switch that got flipped and said the Civil War has begun. It was slow rolling until you couldn't deny it anymore. And there were lots of these little hotspot points that caused us to basically become a country at war with each other. So I look at this and I'm like, is this what you guys want? Like, I don't hate Republicans. I don't hate conservatives. I hate MAGA at this point. If you're MAGA, I hate you. And I hate you because you are supporting being cruel and mean to other people. Specifically, I'm referring to people in my family like LGBT folks. At this point, the first time you voted for Trump, that's one thing. The second time you voted for him, you knew what you were getting and you voted anyway. I guess you could argue, well, I'm doing it for my checkbook or whatever. And I'd say, okay, fine, but that's not MAGA. You might be willing to sort of overlook certain principles, to put more money in your pocket to feed your family. I get that, but we're not talking about those kind of people. So I don't know how you guys can square this. This is the kind of country you want. You want people to be afraid always of law enforcement. You want people to be constantly terrified. I mean, what's the matter with you? And I say that honestly. I'm asking you a real question. How do you think that way? How are you brought up that you think it's okay to feel this way about anyone, let alone your fellow country folk. What's up, El Sinombre? El Sinombre, you're on. I can sort of see you. I cannot hear you at all, but you're not muted, so you're not talking. What you got, baby? Give me something.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah. What's up?
Yo, I have a question. What's Operation Greenland?
This sounds like alien eye drops.
Who?
Or alien. Is this alien Bobcorn?
No.
Okay, you sound like him. What do you mean? What's Operation Greenland? I mean, I know Trump has his eye on Greenland, but is there something called Operation Greenland that I'm not?
That's what I was hearing about. Like Trump is doing like Operation Greenland. I don't know what that is, so I'm trying to figure out what is that. I think it's like some type of operation for the military or for something.
Well, I mean, I imagine it's Operation Greenland. But what I can tell you is, I saw this. This was really weird. I'll put this up on the screen. Trump tweeted this out the other day, which was a picture of him standing on the White House looking all weird and shit. Well, Thomas A tweeted it and he retweeted it where it says soon. So this is just not the kind. This is not the kind of behavior we should be accepting in our fucking culture.
Yeah.
I don't know what Operation Greenland is, but I also don't think that we should be going over and taking other people's territories and countries.
Land. Yeah.
That's the fucking Putin shit going on right there, man. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
soon.
That's Putin going, I want Ukraine.
That tweet he says soon. I think that's the thing I was talking about. Operation Greenland. I think something's gonna happen.
Well, again, here, okay, we don't know that, right? So let's be okay going, you may be right, but we don't know that. But think about how unprofessional and dangerous this is. This is not some little trolley guy on, this isn't Asmongold. This is the president of the fucking United States, man. This is not, and I don't mean that like I'm taking like the high road, like that's not presidential. I mean, it's dangerous. It makes people scared. It makes people confused. It causes people to actually take real action. It is incredibly irresponsible and cruel. And how is anybody okay with this shit? I don't know. That's
all right. That's the only question I had.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, this is Bobcorn. I'm cringe.
I told you I was. I told you it was. You sound, go get those cages tight, baby. Come on now.
Hell yeah. All right. Thank you,
Bobcorn.
Mr. Jeffy. Have a good one.
You as well, sir. Yeah, I don't get it. Trump is preparing for a world war. Why? To what point? Why? Why do we need a world war with this fucking guy? Leave people alone. Yeah, Wayne B's right. Okay, if U.S. takes Greenland by force, then NATO is over. Don't you guys care about that? Don't you guys care about? I mean, you just don't care. You trust this guy so much. Are you that much of a bootlicker, that much of a follower, that all he says is, "Well, I want." I mean, some of you guys get off on that, man. Some of you guys love that, don't you? You love the idea that this guy's like, "Well, I want the oil. We want the oil. It's good for us. So fuck it. We have the guns. We're going to take it." You like that. How, right? What the fuck's going on with you? I mean, right? I mean, explain that to me. Call in and explain that to me. Why do you support this? How long do you think it's going to take the next guys to fix all the relations? I don't know, man. I have no fucking idea. Smug Dark Loser says, who are you talking to? I feel like this is a hypothetical person. I am talking to people in the chat right now who basically are in agreement with Donald Trump and in agreement with his, what I would call lunacy as it relates to foreign policy. Or his lunacy as it relates to doing whatever Stephen Miller tells him. K-Nub says Americans wanted an anti-politician. We got Trump, but he's just the useful idiot. Pathetic Americans fell for it twice by electing him. Absolutely. I would not suggest that Trump is not being manipulated by greater powers. Listen to this, though. John Salk says, this is fascinating. The only way to explain it is the world you want is not the world we live in, but is it the world you want to live in? Do you like the state of the world, John Solk? It sounds like you're a Trump supporter. You voted for this guy, right? I could be wrong. You want this? You like what's going on in the streets? You like what's going on social media? You like how scared people are? You like how mad people are? You like how mean people are? Is this what you want? Because this is what we got. They went from don't tread on me to obey the government in a heartbeat, right? Because they never meant it. And that's why I take offense when people come at me and act like, oh, Jaffe, you're cut from the same cloth. If this was a Democrat, you wouldn't be complaining. And I'm like, you don't follow me then. You must be new, bitch. Machine says, I don't like it, but this is what needs to happen, is what I've heard people say. Think about how ignorant that is. So what they're basically saying is this. Like if you say that, you need to forevermore be marked, and I'm being dramatic, but it's true, with kind of like a scarlet letter that makes it so you can never stand up and say you love America and you believe in the American ideals. Because if it's kind of like saying that, well, I don't like what Israel's doing to Gaza, but it's the only way, right? When you are a country as big and powerful as Israel compared to Palestine or whatever the country, it's not, you know what I'm saying? Or you are a country as big as America and powerful compared to anybody, you take the high road. That's what adults do. You go, you know what? It's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder to get what we want to get done, but we're not a dictatorship. Trump is a fucking child. He is a mentally deranged, sad, pathetic little man who is living out the desire to have his father still love him and give him some kind of congratulations, son. I'm proud of you. And that trumps for this motherfucker everything. And not the fact that it's like, you know what, Trump? Yeah, you can do that. But it's not the right thing to do. It's certainly not the Christian thing to do. But you don't seem to really care. You guys in here defending this, you don't seem to really fucking care. And I don't know, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, what's the matter with you? Zeke says, tell people here illegally to obey the law and leave is not the least bit problematic unless you are on the left. I am on the left. I'm as far left as you can go. I have no problem saying you are here illegally, and that's no bueno. That's French, by the way. I'm cool with that. But there's a way to do it. And there's a way to do it with kindness. And within reason. I'm not saying you go to El Chapo and go, could you please maybe just leave? But what are you doing? This is, you should be ashamed if you support this. Trumper says, Durant, thank you for the super chat. Need to be honest about their agreement with racism. Department of Homeland Security has been Nazi dog whistling since the beginning. Look up Kristi Noem's podium sign. Well, yeah, I'm with you on that. If you don't know what he's talking about. Now, the podium sign's weird, and you got to be careful because I've seen a couple of different things. What the left is claiming, or people are claiming, her podium said something like, one of ours, all of yours, which means if you fuck with one of ours, we're going to come for all of you guys that don't like us. And apparently there are people saying that has something to do with some event that a German soldier in World War II or before World War II, a Nazi guy did, and they used that. And then there's people saying that's not really the official translation, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, fundamentally, though, amongst racist people, that is a quote that is, whether it's accurate or not, embraced by these people. So I do think, I mean, again, you are some of the most powerful people on the planet. How are you this? There's your answer right there, Jaffe. You don't have to ask anymore, but I will. I was going to say, how are you this clueless? Because they're not this clueless, right? They know the influence they have. They know what they're saying at this point. Stand back and stand by. All of that shit, that is calculated. They know exactly what they're doing, and they don't care. They want to do it. Because otherwise you think about, I mean, let me explain something to you. Shannon Studstill, who produced God of War. In the grand scheme of things, it was nothing. It was a video game, right? Compared to world politics and life or death. But this woman, who at the time was like 30, somehow knew what you leak out from her office when she had a meeting with me or Shu or Alan Becker or whatever is going to permeate throughout that office, and it will affect people, and it will scare people. It will excite people. It will motivate people. And we had like a team of like 35 people, and she treated that responsibility of messaging like she was a world leader. You can't tell me that the head of Department of Homeland Security or Donald Trump or JD Vance or Stephen Miller don't understand the influence they wield in the positions that they have. So I'm sorry, but whether or not that was misquoted or poorly translated, we know what it means, and you don't put that on your fucking podium unless you want people to know what you really think. I love America, says Tatum, but I thank you for the super chat, but I feel we're becoming Russia. Trump wants to be Putin part 2. Yeah, he absolutely does. He absolutely does. And let's put it this way. Yeah, that's a good point. Andrea says the only difference between Trump and Jim Jones is Trump would charge his minions for Kool-Aid. You goddamn right. It's totally true. Again, if you want to call in, share your views, the link's at the top, pinned at the top there. All right. David Wadgeberger says, I'm out. I'm at work if he's listening. What, did I miss something? Sorry. ICE and Border Patrol are being given free reign to target anyone brown and anyone who tries to stand up to them. Their rights and due process, our rights and propaganda. Yeah, it's absolute shit. It's absolute shit. It's unacceptable. And it's, I've been with a black woman, says Da Vinci, for 11 years. I don't even understand racism, but everyone tried to train me. I noticed and found the whites to be fishy. I really hate Vans sneakers. I thank you for that, buddy. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But I did see somebody in the chat earlier going, what about all the black people who deal with this all the time from the cops? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, that doesn't minimize that. You goddamn right. It's a racist country. A lot of fucking racists in this country. It's built in the bones of racism. Sorry, get used to it. Deal with it. Can't even teach that anymore in our schools. God damn. I try to do a video game show. I really do. I know they're more popular. I know people would love me more and like me more and support me more if I just talked about, hey, did you hear what happened at Ubisoft today? But I can't. I just can't. It's a racist world, says Movie Maniac. Well, it shouldn't be. Shouldn't we know better at this point? Shouldn't we know better? I gotta take a bite of this fucking fried rice. Give me 2 seconds, you guys. I'm trying not to eat into the microphone because I know it's gross. But I'm hungry. What do you want from me? Eat before the show. Shut the fuck up. All right. Last bite, I promise. Where's Ember's Arcade? I thought he was waiting to call. All right. I mean, seriously. Hang on. Look at this. I'm going to give a shit. John Salk says, cops get mad when you don't follow orders as part of the training. Who gives a shit? Fuck you. You know, just shut the fuck up. That's part of you. You go up to somebody in a free country and tell them, oh, I got to see that, Serve. I got to see that. Hang on. You tell them you have to do what I say and you have a gun and a badge, especially when you're crooked like some of these guys. You know, if you really care about being a good cop, you should be like, yeah, that's going to happen. I have to take into our training has to take that into account. Jaffe, you've got awful video game taste. Stick to this format. Fuck you. Look, here's the problem with my video game takes. I tell it like it is, and I get it. I've learned my lesson. You don't want it like it is. And that's fine. That's fair. You should be a fan. You should enjoy being a fan. I'm the guy that comes in and tumps over the table and says, but this is the real truth. And you guys are like, I don't want the real truth, man. I just want to like my video games. I get it. Alex, let's bring in Alex. Alex, what's going on, champion?
Hey, what's up, man?
Well, doing a show. What's going on?
I'm driving over your crew, so I'm not
Jesus
gonna
Christ,
call in
be
to talk
safe.
about
Be
politics.
fucking safe. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, it's okay. No, No, that's good. I'm in traffic. It's all right. I got
all
the
right,
phone
all right.
on
What,
the
okay,
holder. Don't worry
you
about
take you. Jesus, take the wheel. What you want to talk about, Alex?
it. Okay, I'm not gonna get into the politics, but I do have a question for you regarding your first God of War game. If we can go there. Okay, so what is it true? Because I remember reading an old article. I do not remember what it was, but it was regarding. It pretty much said that you guys wanted to make a God of War game, an action adventure game, to kind of show the Japanese developers that Western developers can do those types of games, kind of like Onimusha at the times, Devil May Cry. You guys can do them also, but better. Is that
Okay.
true?
Kind of, but no. So that wasn't my intention. Was part of that. I wanted to make an action adventure game that felt like you were going on a grand adventure. I loved Devil May Cry, but it felt too much like it was mostly about action. I loved Eco, but it felt like it was a puzzle game. I wanted to make something that had all of those ingredients together, and it felt like you really were the star of this great big cinematic adventure. That was my dream. That was my North Star. Now, the combat in that game originally was going to be, I was more than happy with it being as simple as Ocarina of Time or Medieval 1 and 2. It wasn't until Eric and Derek and Corey got there that they really brought their love of fighting games and competitive fighting games to it. So I know they had a very valid and important, and thank God they did, be in their bonnet about turning God of War, saying, hey, we can do cool action like the Japanese do. But that was a nice side effect that we all benefited from. But that was not, I didn't give a shit. I told them, I said, as long as Kratos comes off as brutal and badass, and I don't have to worry about being great as a gamer to enjoy the adventure, I don't give a shit what you guys do with that. So like for me, I know a lot of people hated the fact that you could auto cancel with the right stick out of almost any move. And because that's so not appropriate for fighting games. A lot of fighting games and stuff, you commit and it's like, hey, if you don't get your timing right, you're fucked. And I'm like, fuck that. I want to be instantly responsive, right? So it was that was kind of where it came from. But certainly I think Corey, Eric, and Derek really did come on board with the whole team, and Mehdi Yusuf, the animator and stuff, and really turned that into something that was well more quality combat than I ever anticipated. That's my answer.
Yeah, no, I think actually that was a great decision of making it to where you actually can stop your attacks with a block. It just made it more fluid and more responsive that way, which is what I really like about the first one. I tried the demo.
Yeah, I loved it as well. So, all right, buddy, be safe out. What state are you in with that traffic? What city?
I'm on the night. You might know this. I'm on the 91. I'm going to Corona. That's where I live. So
flip
not
the phone
too
around.
far from San Diego.
Flip the phone. Let me see this shit, man. God damn, I'm glad people going, hey, Jeff, you want to go outside? I don't want to go outside into that shit. Have you seen any ice activity in San Diego? I have not seen any. I know they're here, but I haven't seen any of these ice guys around.
No, but I do have a lot of activities in Corona, and I actually have my sister-in-law that is from Peru, and she's illegal with her son here.
Yeah.
So she keeps up on the news and on the feeds and kind of knows the locations of where there are, and she kind of stays away from there. But she's on the process of, getting herself legal. But it
doesn't matter. She can. I saw a woman in court today who was talking to a judge. The minute she stepped outside, going through the proper process, they handcuffed her, and she was she was married to an ex-Navy guy, but they detained her. It's like, dude, she's in the court right now filing her paperwork. What the fuck's the matter with you? Fuck these people.
I think a lot of those ICE agents. Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I think we have to understand that they're probably also in a position where they're kind of scared at the same time. That's why they have, it's not excused, but I believe that's why they're so aggressive.
You think the Navy SEALs aren't scared? That's what they do. They're scared. That's the job. That's why you get your $50,000 signing bonus. You're going into some pretty scary situations. You're being given a gun. You're being given a badge. You're being given authority over your fellow citizens. Yeah, that's the job, man. Sorry if you didn't want it. Go run a stream or something. There are other ways to make a living. True. Not this one, but
and also an opinion. Opinion on that video that you showed about the lady and how they dragged her out of the car. I would think. Do you think it would be possible for one agent to handle that more professionally and tell her, "Ma'am, can you please step out of your car"? Do you think a person like
Absolutely.
that would actually oblige? Really?
Well, wait a minute. She may not, and that's okay. And then there have to be ways. It would be this to me. It would be, ma'am, if you don't get out of the car, I'm going to have to take you out of the car. If assuming they needed her out right away, and if she's resisting, that's fine too. But there are ways to do it where it's not like 6 guys body slamming this woman to the ground and cutting her seatbelt and smashing her window on the side of the car she wasn't even in. I mean, it's just like, I mean, those guys literally could have picked up the car and moved it. In college, we were picking up people's cars all the time. You could have reached in, taken the keys, turned them off, given them to your buddy, picked up the car and moved it over to the sidewalk at that point.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But I mean, I know people like that when they do those kinds of actions, they don't really want to oblige with what they're going to be telling her.
I get it.
You know,
I get it. I'm not, people think I'm saying, oh, let's talk about it. Let me invite you for a cup of coffee. No, I understand. But you can't tell me that with all the resources we have, there's not a balance between how they acted and taking her out for therapy and a cup of coffee, right? There's got to be a way to do it that is humane and even getting people out of America. It's like, we're supposed to be Christian country. We're supposed to be caring. How about the fact that if we do have people here that have worked hard and that have, like this one dad that got deported that raised 2 American citizen sons that went and fought in Afghanistan, how about we use our tax dollars, the people that can afford it, like the corporations, and build really nice sanctuary city areas like on the border, and Mexico pays half and we pay half. And it's like, look, you can't come in, but we're not going to send you back to something where it's in danger. I mean, we are better than this. We should be better people than this. And we don't demand it. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. No, I mean,
as far as that conversation with other countries, I think that's more of a sloppy slope because it's not that simple. It's like, oh yeah, let's go half and half on this. You know how it is.
Okay, even if we don't go half and half, but we have the money, we have the resources. Especially, I mean, how much taxes do these companies not pay? God forbid you'd tell Amazon and Elon Musk and all these people to pay their fair share so we cannot treat people who have given to America a kind way to come here without sending them back to some shitty hellhole that maybe they're trying to escape from for a better life. Anyway, drive safe, Alex, buddy. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I just want to one more thing with as far I'm not a Trump supporter, but there is one thing that I'm kind of hearing that he's trying to propose as far as the housing market.
Love that. If that's true, I love what I go ahead.
Right.
Preach, baby, preach. Tell him I love that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. That's what people don't get. If he does something good, I'll give him props. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm like, I take the good and the bad. Kind of like you just got to look at everything. But yeah, just the proposal that he's going to try to say is having the big corporations from buying out homes to rent, which is raising up prices for the single family homes where people can no longer afford it. So he's trying to stop that. I don't know how he's going to implement that, because does that mean the homes that are bought out now from corporations, are they going to have like a limit? Like, okay, in a year, you have to sell all of the properties you guys have? Or, I don't know how that's going to work out.
And I don't know how it's going to work, but I think most people would say that's a good idea. And I'll give him props when he has a good idea. All right, Alex, thanks, buddy. Drive safe getting home. See you, bud. Stick Solid says Jaffe wants to rely on Christianity when it suits his narrative. I'm not relying on it. I'm saying this is what these blowhards say all the time. Oh, we're a Christian country. I'm like, okay, well then prove it, because you ain't acting like it from what I know. This is Ray Charles. I hope he's not driving. You get it because he's blind and he's dead. Ray, it's Jaffe. What's going on, bud?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you great. What would you
Cool. I'm out for a walk right now. I've been wanting to call in for a while. Jaffe, I love you. You're an awesome guy. I disagree with you a lot, but you're thoughtful. And I don't know what it is about you, Jaffe, but whenever you say something that drives me up the wall, I want to call in and talk to you. And it's just crazy because I don't do that with anyone else. But for some reason, I care when you say something.
Maybe we're in love.
Why is that happening to me, man? I don't get it. I don't know what it is, man. I have a secret crush on you. Who knows?
What do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, I wanted to call you a while ago, but there was this one time you were talking with Colin Moriarty. This was months ago. and you mentioned how you didn't think that the fine tuning argument for the existence of God was a good argument, and I was like,
right.
I was like, why? That doesn't make any sense to me because it didn't seem like you quite really understood it when you were kind of talking about it. And so I guess I wanted to ask again, like, what did you think people mean, I guess, when they say the fine tuning argument?
Why don't you pitch me and the audience what you see as the fine tuning argument? And let's make sure that your view of it is exactly what mine is. And then I can tell you why I don't agree with it. Or I'm like, oh no, I didn't think that was the argument. Go ahead.
Okay, well, fine. I'll do that for you. The way a fine tuning argument, from what I understand, is where there's these cosmological constants like gravity and the weak nuclear force all throughout our galaxy are perfectly dialed in such a way that life is even possible. So it's these vast, I mean, I can't even tell you how long these dials would be, but vast dials. And they're clicked and tuned right on the exact, you can think of it like a number, the perfect one single number out of the vast amount you can imagine. And it's the perfect one for life to exist. Not that life is complicated or complex or that we're so complicated and complex creatures. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that life to even be possible, even to arise at all, these dials have to be in such a perfect place that it just seems surprising that it would be possible on, let's say, an unguided or random process.
Okay, so a couple of things. First off, Juicy Booch, thank you so much for your super chat. I very much appreciate it. Okay, well, first off, we don't really know how rare or full the universe is of life. Recently, this last year, the minerals that came back from Mars that they spent a year making sure we're not being contaminated by anything on Earth or on the ships and things that still somehow survive, which they probably didn't. They said, we cannot prove that what we're seeing in this soil is evidence of life. We won't say that. But what we will say is we have absolutely no other explanation for the chemical makeup of this soil or whatever it is, the rock or whatever they were looking at. We have no other explanation other than on Earth, we know that is a 100% clear sign of some sort of biological organism.
Okay,
hang on. So what I'm saying is, even with that, and that's one of our closest neighbors, such as it is, they're saying, science hasn't even said there's no life there. But beyond that, the bigger point that I made to Colin, I think, is that the idea that our perception of life being rare is because that's our perception of life, right? But when you say gravity is a constant, well, gravity is not a constant. The law of gravity is a constant, but the numerical gravity, if everything was the same except gravity, the mass of the Earth, we could still be alive on Mars. Assuming that it was like it was 5 billion years ago when it had a breathable atmosphere, right? But we would have had much lower gravity or higher. I forget. Higher.
Fine tuning has nothing to say with about how much life there will be. Like, so it doesn't matter that there's more life. That's fine. The fine tuning is just saying that the constants in the cosmos and in the universe are so vast that the measurements they could be are so vast, but they happen to be lined up in such a way that they allow a universe, so Mars, anywhere, to have life be possible to arise. So it doesn't matter that life is here. So that's the thing. I'm not making an argument.
No, I know. But doesn't that argument bother you? Because you have to know you're seeing these things that you're calling exceptionally rare through the filter of someone that only has your human experience and our limited understanding of everything. We can't see everything. We can't hear everything or smell everything. We don't even know. Theoretical physics says that time isn't even real, that everything's happening at once. And we're sitting here trying to say with our insanely limited understanding of how the universe works,
right,
how existence.
I agree with.
We're going to say this couldn't be possible without XYZ, and it's like we don't have any information yet, really.
okay, so the fine tuning argument is only saying what do we think is the best explanation that we currently have, and so we think, well, it was surprising. It would be very surprising that this arrived on an unguided cause, and it would not be surprising, or as surprising at least, if it arrived by an agent putting these things in the right. So it's not about how much what information could be out there. It's about what do we think. It's just like on a murder trial when you're a jury member and you're trying to determine if this guy committed murder or not. All you have is the information provided to you. You're making an epistemic probability of what could possibly be the best explanation. That's all that's happening here with the fine tuning.
I understand that, but what I'm saying
everything we don't know.
I know that, but what I'm saying is, it's kind of like going, you're making these really big, you're jumping to these conclusions on really big, important concepts, or at least we consider important, with the full awareness that you barely know anything. And so that's my only point, which is like when you say things had to be tuned exactly right for life. Well, our version of life, what we consider life, what we consider awareness, but there might be billions of other life forms out there that feel the exact same way, and but their life is totally different than our life.
Right. I think what you're making there is the reverse gambler's fallacy. Do you know what that is?
I guess what I'm making there, but whatever it is, I believe
it.
Well,
it'd be like walking into a casino, you and me, Jeff. You walk into a casino, and we walk up to the craps table, and a guy there, he's rolled his point 1 million times in a row. And I go, wow, that's surprising. That's incredible. I think someone's cheating. And you go, no. You go, no one's cheating. We don't know how many people have lost here. There could be a whole bunch of losers here, a whole bunch of mistakes, a whole bunch of different types of winners and losers.
That's not
correct,
and
he just happens to be the one that hit it perfectly on this wild,
but you're making
an epistemic probability statement by saying, I think there's a cheater here. And it's the same thing here. We see astronomical things happening, and we're seeing an epistemic.
You know what's different, though?
What's different?
We have a history of running human-made casinos, and we know how things work, and we know how the probability in casinos work. We could basically say, based on that information that we have, this doesn't make any sense. There has to be.
We have the same thing with this.
We do not. We know nothing about our universe. We know nothing about
what we know. What we know is the range. We know that. We know it's astronomical, beyond all comprehension. And we know that there's multiple ranges, not just one, but multiple of them that have to line up perfectly. And we know that intelligent minds can do that.
That have to line up perfectly in order to do what?
To allow the possibility of life to even happen.
Okay, well,
any kind of life.
You can't judge the possibility of life, but you're saying that.
No, okay, so I'm saying, okay.
Right.
If the calculation, let's say, I'll give one example. If the calculation is off 1 degree, the universe just folds in on each other and there's nothing. Right? If the calculator is off 1 degree this direction, the universe just expands so quickly there's no life at all. Like you're talking about things that it's not even possible.
Give me an example of what is 1 degree off and the universe doesn't exist.
Weak and strong nuclear forces. So like when weak and strong nuclear forces.
Okay.
Like in atoms, if those are off by even a minute amount, atoms don't even stick together. We would fall apart. We would float apart into nothingness, and there'd be nothing here. Okay, like I'm saying, we're held. You and I right now are held together by forces that are so fine tuned that we can't even fathom it, and yet we just believe. Like we just think, oh well, this just came here by a random process. Doesn't make sense.
Why do
what makes more sense?
Why do you think I believe? None of it makes sense. I don't believe.
No, what makes more sense? What makes more sense?
Okay, it doesn't make more sense to me. What makes sense to me is that we are because you are locked in on this idea that if we aren't held together by atoms, or our atoms aren't held together by this specific force, there's nothing. And my answer to you is, this universe could have expanded and contracted quadrillions of times, and maybe only 3 or 4 times it gave us what we have now. And maybe other times those forces were such that what life was so different we could barely fathom. It's kind of like in the movie
Jesse,
Arrival.
my man.
Hang on. It's kind of like in the movie Arrival, where those people did not live forward to backwards. They lived all life at the same time, right? You are ascribing very human, very modern views of what is, and allowing that to sort of define the universe.
No,
You are.
No, Jaffe, here's my example again, okay? Here, I can do it just what you did right now with my example. I'm on a jury.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm trying to tell you that
no, look at,
I'm
just saying.
agnostic.
Well, I'm on a jury, right? And they're trying to convince me this guy committed murder. And I go, wait. We don't know if an alien came down from space and shot or hurt the person this guy's accused of killing, right? There's no way of knowing that. We don't know all the, it's like, no, you take what you do know, Jaffe, and you make the best epistemic probability decision. That's what we do every day. So all we're doing is taking the stuff we do know, Jaffe, and making the best decision we can off of it.
But you're doing the same problem with the casino thing. You're taking very knowable, very compact in our world ideas that we have a lot of information about, that comparatively, when it comes to how life in the universe works, we barely know 0.0001%. And you're assuming that the same kind of logic about what is probable can be applied. And I would argue with you that as that number gets further away from our experiences of what we can kind of put a stamp on and say, that seems to track consistently, it becomes harder and harder to make these assumptions about the universe. So, but I mean, look, man, I'm agnostic. I don't know what's going on. I don't have a problem if there's intelligent design, if we're in a simulation, if there is a God, if there are aliens, I go, okay, cool.
All I'm saying is, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that you're agnostic. I think that's intellectually honest. And I think that I just was wondering why you thought it was a bad argument, because from my perspective, it's about as surprising an argument that we have for why there's life at all is the only thing that we currently have generally is the argument of intelligent design that makes the most sense. That doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't mean it's correct. It just makes the most sense.
Well, hang on a second. What is it you're saying? My argument, because I want somebody much wiser than me and more articulate in this than me to give me like 2 sentences here. So you're saying my view. What is the argument against something about, you called it like the universe, the perfect universe, or because I think they can do it better than me. What is the argument against all the elements lining up to give life in the universe? Let's see what it comes up with.
Generally, it's brute. They say it's just a brute necessity.
Yeah, well, let's see. It says, the most common counter argument is our existence is a prerequisite for observing the universe at all. If the universe constants were different, life as we know it wouldn't exist to ponder the universe parameters. We find ourselves in a life-permitting universe because we could not observe any other kind. It's like a puddle thinking the hole it perfectly fits in was designed for it, rather than the water conforming to a randomly shaped hole. That's my take. I agree with that. Smug, you are the most intellectual, dishonest person here. Intelligent design my butt, says Ashoka Tana. I don't think this is Smug, though, is it? No.
Well, that's just misunderstanding the fine-tuning argument, in my opinion.
This is Ray. All right. Well, agree to disagree, but let's just agree on this. Let's hope we all, whyever we're here, however we got put here, if intentional or not, we all have a good experience and a good adventure, and we treat people well and they treat us well. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I love you, dude. Talk to you later.
Thanks, buddy. There goes Ray.
Peace.
Off into the night, walking his dog or something like that. I don't fucking know. If design is intelligent, why do I need to wear glasses? No, well, I mean, okay, right. I mean, the argument is, well, it's evolution, but you can put evolution in the intelligent bucket. You can say, look, there was a conscious force that said, I want to make people or life. And the only way I can do it is I can do it via evolution. That's how I know how to do it. It doesn't mean there wasn't a creator involved in that process, but I have absolutely zero evidence of that. And the idea that, well, that's the most logical conclusion. I mean, that's literally like if I take my dog in an elevator and think of it from a dog's perspective. He gets in an elevator, the door closes, The door opens and he's somewhere else. His logical conclusion based on what he knows is not, well, the box must have moved. His logical conclusion based on what he knows is this is a magic box that opens and closes and I'm in different places. That's what we're talking about. Anyway, bless both Rob and the other guy for pulling Jaffe away from his political spiraling. I know, right? Well, look, man, I said it at the top of the show. I got colleagues that make a lot of money talking about video games, man. But I can't do it. What I don't know how to do it. It's boring. All day long, the same shit. I think it's because I play video games. I'm not saying these guys don't either. I know a lot of them play more games than I do. Not a lot, but some of them. But if you play games, you want to talk about the games. I don't need to fucking sit around and talk about console wars and shit like that. I don't like, says Optimus, the fine-tune argument from people mainly because it comes down to them dismissing any probability that life is one hell of a coincidence. Yeah. And the other part of it is, again, if we are talking about our view of time compared to the view of time of the cosmos, and we're just talking about one Big Bang. We're just talking about, how old is the universe? 8 billion or 10 billion? Alexa, how old is the universe? Alexa, how old is the universe?
The universe is approximately 13.8 billion years.
Okay, so Alexa, stop. So that's 13.8 billion years for one Big Bang expansion and perhaps a collapse. Now, how many times has that happened? Over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
According to current cosmological understanding, there's been only one Big Bang event about 13.8 billion years ago. The universe hasn't gone through multiple expansion collapse cycles.
Okay, Alexa, stop. What do they call it? The big bounce or something? So I think it's like taking the very limited information you have and going, well, Alexa, stop. And going, oh, well, this must be what is happening. And I don't buy that. And I think we have to be okay with that. People aren't okay with ambiguity. People aren't okay with it. Just be okay with it. Read some Buddhist philosophy, man. Seriously. I'm not even fucking with you, man. Settle into some impermanence. Settle into some philosophy relating to just going, I don't know. It's okay. There may be nothing after this. There may be everything after this. We may have done this ad nauseum time and time and time again. We don't know. Be okay with that. Why do you got to hold on so tightly? It's all going away anyway, eventually. Just settle, man. You'll have such a better time. You'll have such a better time. Man, I'll tell you, I read a book when I was in my 20s. I thought I had brain cancer, long story. And I got this book from this non-religious, Shambhala, it was her sect, called, it was basically about non-religious Buddhist philosophy. Changed my fucking life. Because you just got to, doesn't mean you're apathetic. It doesn't mean you don't care about things, but just, shh, we don't know. It's okay. That's good. That's good. Hello, Amazing Maisie. The question of life is what existed before the Big Bang. We don't know. Don't know. Is that okay? Why can't we just go, I don't know? The Rapture says machine can't come soon enough. Can't wait to meet Christ. What a rock star. Yeah, sure. Hey, man, I don't care if Christ is, I can't imagine Christ is real, but sure. If the actual, now, let's assume there was a God. Maybe there's a God. And maybe that God is all of the versions of gods that we've created in, thank you, Rob the Mod, in our various incarnations. Maybe they are all talking about the same entity, which is fundamentally the only way we change the details, but the essence is the same. Okay, sure, maybe. But the idea that it is actually Jesus and that's the real story, come on. What a coinkydink. Game Burrow says, why agnostic? Why not be an optimist nihilist? Well, I don't even understand that. Nihilism just means what? That you think there's no point to anything? because I don't know if that's true. I don't have a problem with nihilism, but I don't know if it's accurate. So to me, to say I am Jewish or Christian or Hindu or Muslim is just as impossible for me to say I'm nihilistic or I don't believe there is any point to anything. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Call in, keep the show rolling. Let's go. The clicks at the top. Don't be shy. Don't be a goddamn baby, but call in if you have something to say. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Let me see what else I got lined up though. Hang on. I do have things lined up to talk about. Let's see. Let's see what we got tonight, boys. Give me a second. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. Nope. Don't want to talk about that. Never forget. I haven't even read this. I just saw the headline. I was curious. I've experienced, says Derek Robinson, the devil and Jesus in my dreams. I believe it was by design. Cool. Do I believe in the ending to Stranger Things? I do. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Optimist nihilist just means you reject objective morality, but instead of not caring, you create your own meaning. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm that to some extent. I mean, I thought nihilism meant you don't care about anything, but do I don't, I'm agnostic. I don't know if I reject morality. There are days, you know, I talked about this on the other stream. I look at the real people who succeed in this world. They're not the moral people. They're the people that get away with whatever they can fucking get away with. And they either go to jail or they become legends. That's how it works. And it wouldn't surprise me if our morality is something that we've been brainwashed into thinking is something that's sort of God ordained, but in reality, it's just brainwashing to keep us complacent while the people who actually cheat and lie and steal get away with whatever they can get away with. So I'm agnostic on that as well, is what I would say. The movie stuff we can talk about tomorrow. I'm in no position to make that tonight. Rob the Mod says every atom in our bodies has traveled billions of years, and elsewhere those same atoms are probably arranged in forms of life we can't imagine. There's no way we're alone. I mean, there's a way, but I don't think it's likely. I agree with you, Charles Darwin. I'm not a fan of religion. Not today. Religion in the past got us out of the muck, but we don't need it anymore. We really don't need it anymore. You know what I'm thankful for is this film. Billions of years have gone by and we live at the exact same time of Papa Jaffe with his big, thank you, buddy. With his, how do we have 35 likes on this show? We have over 130 people watching this show, which is not a lot, but I'm grateful for every goddamn one of you except two. And I'm not telling you who you are. And could you just hit the fucking like button? Jesus fucking Christ. Is this too much to ask to click on a goddamn like button? So I can keep doing this because maybe somebody who has some money finds the show because the algorithm served it up and he says, you know, I like the cut of this guy's jib. Here's some money. How about that? How about that? I took you to task. I took you out to the old woodshed. Hang on a second. Hang on. Hang on. Sorry, I'm eating. Sorry. When is the show with Rich going to start? Whenever he calls me, man. He never calls me. He told me once, let's do a show. I'm like, okay. And he's like, I got to reschedule. He hadn't called me back. Hey, Big Bad Eddie T, did I cry when I heard about Scott Adams? No, I don't. I was never a huge Dilbert fan, but, you know, anybody, you know, I mean, he made some funny comics. I didn't like much of his philosophy at all, but I did like sort of the stoic way that he faced his own death, at least publicly. So, you know, I'm eating fried rice, Danny. The agnostic takes a definitive stance that nothing is known and can ever be known. I usually, when I say agnosticism, I'm talking about sort of spiritual things, but I do think that where we are in our evolution, that is correct. We have no idea what the fuck is going on. Could be a simulation. Could be who the fuck knows? I don't know. All right. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you.
Oh, hi. Yeah.
You act surprised. You called me.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
reading a book like economics, like how
Okay.
economics works.
It sounds
Learn.
scintillating. What do you want to talk
Yeah,
about, pal?
oh yeah, I was just reading a book and you ever
Mhm.
seen the Twitter post I actually did, like I edit myself like Kratos or something like that.
Are you the last airbender?
I never heard of the Last Airbender, but well, uh, yeah. Uh, what is it a joke?
No. What do you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, I just reading books, but have you read any books for recently or something like that?
You just want to know if I'm reading any books?
Yeah, yeah.
Hang on.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
All right, you there?
Mm.
These are the
Oh
books I'm
yeah,
reading right now.
yeah.
I'm almost done with this book from Ashley Poston called A Novel Love Story, which is a rom-com about a
Mm.
woman who is struggling in her life and she loves romances and she ends up crossing this bridge and going into a town where she realizes she's actually in her favorite book series and only one other character in the book knows they're in a book as well, but nobody else knows. And it is incredibly fun. It feels like a rom-com version of Back to the Future. It's great. I'm reading a spinoff of Stranger Things about Nancy Wheeler. It's pretty good. It's, it's great if you like the franchise. Not a great book.
Oh,
I'm reading Christopher Hitchens' God is Not Great, about him kind of debunking religion and how stupid religion is. And I'm reading a batch of short stories by Harlan Ellison, who I've always known
yes.
about, but I've
Hello.
never actually read before. And they're great. They're great. So that's what I'm reading right now. And you know what?
Yeah.
I told my son, I said, I don't want, because when you have kids, when you were a kid and your parents told you, I don't want any gifts, make me something. As a kid, you were always like, that's stupid. I want, who wants something made from some dumb kid? But now that I've had kids, I love it when they make me things. So I told my son, I said, if you want to get me something for Christmas, just make me bookmarks. That way, whenever I'm reading, I can think of you guys. And so he made me a bookmark with all the serial killers that says reading is fun. And I love it so much. And I think of him every time I read. It says from Cal to Dad. That's my boy. That's my sweet child. Love him.
Oh,
Anyway. Yeah.
is
So that's
that
my story. You didn't
that's
think you
very
were gonna,
cool?
what's that?
Well, that's very cool on the
Yeah.
photo.
It was Freddie,
Yeah.
Jason, and Michael Myers.
Oh yeah.
Because he
Actually,
knows
I
I
was
love
studying
the
my
horror.
laptop actually.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
That's great. So, what do you want to talk about, baby? What's going on in your life? What do you want to share with the audience tonight?
Well, I'm just animating something still, but I started to go into like 3D as well. Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Now, you understand that you're on a show right now, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, also just now you were talking about like the like science and the religious things and the agnostics actually. Well, I would just say that I think maybe like there's aliens out there or maybe I don't know. But let's wait for the technological advancements to like see like because we already have like people saying there's microbes on like the Mars or
Mhm.
like there's proof of like a lot of like these entities and whatnot. Some also like use light stuff. I watched Crypto Alchemist one YouTube channel and also they say about the religious things, the light bending and what this creature DMT and these all these things.
Oh, you're talking about the DMT light experiment?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
that's fascinating. Fascinating. Yeah. And then the other thing that's really cool is with the James Webb Telescope, there are these. Hang on, Ace, relax, you weirdo. there are these astrobiologists, is what they're called, and they're like, look, I don't know anything about the orbs or the Tic Tacs or anything. They said, well, we're probably going to see aliens if we ever find them first, is going to be looking at the chemicals that certain planets give off, because we can know using the James Webb Telescope, we are able to look at a planet and go, that may be a civilized location, because we're able to tell that there are various types of industry on that planet. We can't see it. We can only test it mathematically. And now we can start to see chemicals coming off it, but we don't know why those things would be there if there wasn't some sort of manufacturing process and stuff. So it's pretty interesting stuff. I love it all.
Yeah, but about that,
I didn't have to say anything just then, did I?
No,
Right.
by
Mhm.
what the security team actually said about like this, have videos of like this like planets where there's like this like strange objects, strange force, strange aliens, whatnot, and
Yeah.
there is pictures of like life on Mars and the Martian crab, but I'm pretty sure the scientists that actually try to like find life say that it's unconfirmed and just say it's fake or anything, until they really proven it, like let's say like complete photos, not just some like leak or something like that. I'm not sure actually.
Listen to me.
Hmm.
You're a cool cat.
Yeah.
I know. Good for you, buddy. Well, I don't know what you just said, honestly. I think I understood it, but it's a little too complicated for me. But what let me ask you this. Are you married?
I would want to get married now, but
Who is the woman of your dreams? If you could snap your fingers and have a celebrity woman or man, whatever you're into, to marry, who would it be?
I don't really marry celebrities actually.
Well, it wouldn't be a real. I know, but that's the only thing we both would share. I don't know like what Linda looks like living down the street, so we have to kind of meet on a shared understanding of celebrities. So if you were to pick, like, if I could snap my fingers right now and I were to get married again with a celebrity, based on what I know, ooh, see, this is tough. See, I would want to marry, like, what's that girl's name? Selena Gomez, because I think she's real sexy and pretty. But I'd also want to marry that girl in The Big Bang Theory, who's not a very attractive lady, in my opinion, that Mayim lady who played Blossom, because she seems super fucking smart. Or Winnie from the Wonder Years, because she's like into math and science and things, you know?
I'm not sure. I'm not into celebrities that much or Hollywood.
Yeah. Who would you want to marry then?
I'm not sure actually, because I'm not into celebrities.
No, it doesn't have to be a celebrity. We've moved past that. We've moved on from that scenario.
yeah.
Now it's just anybody. Is there do you like men or women?
I'm still a transgender person, so I marry a lady. I like one lady from like Scandinavia, like Norway. But I know, but she doesn't look Norwegian. She just looks Finnish. I always pray to God, pray to the Creator. I need to see her. I need her, and I'm gonna miss or something
Do
like
you
that.
know her in real life, or you don't know her in real life?
I don't know in real life, but
How do you know her? Where have you seen her before?
I just can't remember. It's just a long time ago.
Okay. Do you know, once when I was probably 15 or 14, I was at the shopping mall with my friend Carrie, and he's a guy, and we saw this girl, and I thought she was so cute, blonde girl, and we followed her to her car with her mom. We got her license plate, and then we hacked into the DMV because we were into all that shit at the time, got her phone number, and I called her at home and told her I thought she was cute. And she's like, "You're a weirdo." She was right. Might as well have been a stalker. Might as well have been a stalker, pal. But I thought it was a romantic gesture. I was raised on rom-coms and shit. I thought, hey, I learned. Lesson learned. Am I right?
I just can't remember the details before and state whether I met or not. I just can't remember. But hey, this the thing security team actually. This the one I'm talking about, like the one of the weird stuff.
What is that you're showing me? I don't know what that is.
No, it's just the channel that says a lot of these aliens and stuff like life on Mars,
Oh,
life.
what's it called? What's it called?
Secure Team 10.
Secure Team
Yeah,
10. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot
I
of
will
these
look it
weird.
up. The next time you call, I will watch some. Alexa, remind me to look up Secure Team 10 in 2 hours from now. Alexa, remind me to look up Secure Team 10 in 2 hours.
Mm. And then another one is like Crypto Alchemist, which says a lot of the
Okay.
like the weird stuff here.
All right. I'll give it a watch. I'll give it a watch. All right, buddy.
So,
Thank you for calling, man. I sure do appreciate it. Be well. Are people
mm.
treating you well out there in the world? You're not putting up with shit from
uh,
people?
yeah, I did have more actually. Bunny Buttons like a server.
Oh, isn't Bunny great? You're in Bunny's server. She's a delightful little whimsical skedaddler. I adore her. She's
Yeah,
delightful.
it's great actually.
Yeah. You goddamn right.
I still like actually that she's just kind of like just friendly and all, and I make a lot of friends actually. Like I make a lot of friends, even Rob or like
Rob the
another guy.
Mod, man. Rob the Mod's in here right now. Rob's delightful. Bunny, Anna G. Come on now. We got a nice little group of people.
I did post a lot of one of my
Only one of
random
them's
like
racist, but I'm not telling you which one. I'm not going to tell you who it is. It's a secret. All right,
yeah,
buddy.
I edit myself as Kratos. Yeah.
Ooh, very nice. Good job, buddy. You look mean. All right. I'll see you soon. Thanks, bud.
But
I like that fella. He's a good egg. I like him. He's a good egg. Now, listen to this. I saw this on Twitter. Never forget that Seth Dillon from the Babylon Bee arranged the first meeting of Elon Musk and Ashley St. Clair. I don't know who these people are. And then underneath that, it says I guess Ashley St. Clair, wrote a book against transgenderism, and now she's defending transgendering kids in just a few years. I don't understand what any of that's about. I don't understand what that's about. Who is Ashley St. Clair? And why would anybody write a book about trans kids? Some people on the right, I'm going to tell you something. Some people on the right, they worry about people's kids a little too much. I start to worry. I start to worry a little bit about them. Because all they think about is kids and pedophiles and trans kids. Like, shut up, you weirdos. You fucking weirdos, man. It's all they think about. I don't understand it. What else we got lined up for tonight, boys? Autistic Barbie. First autistic Barbie doll with headphones and fidget spinner sparks stereotyping row with campaigners. I think it's great. I'll show it to you. Here it is. There's autistic Barbie. Why not? The doll holds a tablet showing symbol-based augmentative and alternative communication. Here she is, autistic Barbie. Now, of course, there are going to be people that complain about it because you guys just want everybody to feel awful about themselves if they don't conform to your version of the world. And to that, I say, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Good for that. Good for Barbie. Good for the people at Mattel going, you know what? People are autistic and they are just as happy and cool as everybody else. And they deserve to feel loved and represented, and fuck you if you don't like this. She's awesome. I'm sometimes an introvert, says Ultra, the guy who just called, but I'm starting to feel like some peaceful things before the introversy are coming back. I don't know what that means, but we love you, buddy. We love you, buddy. Okay. Now look. All right. I'm going to go walk with my family. We walk up at the track, getting a little bit of a walk, look at the stars, enjoy ourselves, whatever. Shut up. I may be back tonight streaming this game Hightail, which came out today, which I'm enjoying. And if so, I'll see you tonight, maybe. Are there MAGA Barbies? In real life, yes. I don't know about actual. But I'm going to be doing that, and then I'll be back tomorrow on LolCal unless I got fired. I was over on the LolCal Discord today saying all kinds of shit. I'm half expecting to say don't come back, which, is what it is. Otherwise, I'll be on that show, LolCal Crypt, tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, California time, and then I'll be back with the stream like this tomorrow. I got to ask you guys in the chat before I go. I like talking about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. I don't like just doing game stuff. Is this one's in the chat if you like this format, or twos if you want me to go back to pure gabbing and games? KP Projections, thank you for the $2. Jaffe, you cut out for a second there, moron. You go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I should mention Xylie's name more to feed into the bit. Oh, she's horrible. She's horrible. Jaffe, don't ignore your chat. I don't ignore the chat. I talk to you guys. What are you talking about? The show is me talking to the chat. And again, I'll talk about game stuff. Like, by the way, Thursday, we will be live streaming the Resident Evil Requiem showcase. But what I don't want to do is talk about game stuff when there's nothing interesting happening. Teddy says this was terrible. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. All right. All right. Open topics, keep things interesting. Switch it up with random gabbing and game days. Yeah. Talk about different stuff. I love talking about the universe and aliens, says Bobby the Robert. Do like aliens fart? Where do they fart from? It's true. Bunny Button. Where's Bunny? This was pretty bad. Go back to gabbing. Fuck you, Addie Pie, you dumb whore. All right. I'm out, boys. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Rob. Thank you guys for hanging out, spending some time with me. Have a great rest of your night. Again, I'll be streaming a game tonight, but if I don't see you, I'll see you tomorrow. That's the show. I love you with all my heart and soul. Bye, guys.